Hi there, thanks for joining me today. My name is Rachel Cohn, and I'm a realtor with United Country Lifestyle Properties of Maine. We're here at 45 Barrett Road in Sumner to take a look at this great antique farmhouse. Included in this property is an outdoor pavilion that's fully wired with electricity, the upper barn, and the lower barn. The upper barn consists of about 8 stalls and a chicken coop. It's quite spacious. We'll take a look in there in just a little bit. But I wanted to start with the house here. We're standing outside, and I do want to mention that there's been some updates made. The first of which in 2012, there's a new roof, siding, and insulation were all updated. Let's go inside and take a look there. As we come into the farmhouse, there's a lovely mud room, and off of the mud room is this great wood storage area. We come in here and it's just sort of a utility room with, as you can see, some wood scraps from previous year's wood storage, but it makes it so you don't have to go outside and get your wood in the cold weather. And then as we come back into the main part of the farmhouse, we enter into the kitchen and dining area. And when you stand over the sink, which you'll see in just a second, you have a gorgeous mountain view. And this awesome wood burning stove, it's a Glenwood stove. It's quite large, and it actually not only heats this whole area, but also the porch area out here that's enclosed. We're going to walk through there in just a minute as well. So follow me. Check out the view when you're doing your dishes. Moving through the downstairs off the kitchen, this is a fully enclosed porch. The current owners, when they light up that Glenwood stove in the kitchen, open this up and it is a heated space if you choose to use it year round. It's a great space for entertaining, and as you can see behind me, some pretty amazing mountain views. We also have this really nice wood deck, so if you prefer to be outside in the warmer months, lots of space to entertain. Moving through the downstairs, we enter into the living room, and next to me here is a lovely Vermont castings wood stove, providing nice heat in here in the winter. I also want to mention, just talk about systems in the house overall. There is Rinnai heaters. They run on propane. There's two of them downstairs, one in the living room, one in the kitchen, in addition to the wood stoves. There's also a third one down in the basement to make sure all the fixtures and utilities that are in the basement stay warm in the winter months. One of my favorite things about this house is all of the built-ins. They're in almost every room. As you can see, we have the shelves and the cabinets on both sides of this fireplace, and the Glenwood stove in the kitchen also has built-ins on both sides. And then throughout the whole first floor, there are different bookcases and shelvings. It's all built in, and I'll point them out as we move through the different rooms. So I'm over in a little nook in the living room next to the staircase. As you can see, there's a nice window that looks out into that three-season room at the Mountain Views. But part of the reason I brought you over here is I wanted to point out the old water heaters, the old radiant heaters here. Um, these are not functional or connected. They were kept for the charm and to keep that farmhouse feel. My understanding is, though, that all of the components for the system are still here. So it is something that if someone was interested in looking into having it set back up, could potentially be done. Another great feature in this farmhouse is the ability to have first floor living. We are in the first floor bedroom, fondly referred to as the Poe room, as you can see from some of the decor, which the furnishings I want to mention will stay with the house. But here's another example of one of those great built-ins. And lots of storage here for all kinds of stuff. As you can see, this room is themed for Edgar Allan Poe. And there is a master bathroom that we're going to take a look at right now. In here we have the first floor bathroom. This is right off of the first floor bedroom. There is a washer and dryer connection in here, a full-size tub. The bathroom has been updated. When the sellers updated it, they wanted to keep that retro theme, so they went with this color scheme. Moving through the downstairs off of the Poe room, we enter into what used to be the post office for the town of Sumner. This is sort of an informal sitting room right now, but you could bring your creativity. Basically, this house is almost like two houses kind of put together. And this back part, the post office that I'm about to take you through, has a lot of room for imagination. You could potentially create a whole nother living space back here. So let's take a look and I'll show you what we've got going on. I also want to take a quick minute and point out the pumpkin pine floors in here, absolutely gorgeous. This used to be the post office entrance. This is the front door. It's not currently used by the owners, but it could be reopened up and made functional. And then we have two closets right here, which will be nice for storage. And then as we continue to move through what used to be the post office, these rooms are a little bit rustic. There is an old fireplace here that's been closed off. We still have the wide plank floors in here. Lots of ideas could be brought into this space to make it whatever your vision is. This is the furthest back or the deepest part of the house from the entrance, if you will. This is also part of the old post office. This is actually the old receiving room. There's some insulation here. You can see that there's doors behind there. This used to be where the mail would come in and be received and taken out. The other thing too that we're going to check out here in a second is there is a staircase right here, and there is a second floor to this part of the house that is separate from the main house. So we'll take a look up there. The other thing I want to point out is there is a trap door over here that actually has basement access. This basement is bare. It does not have much for utilities or anything in it. They do run a sump pump in the spring thaw to keep it dry. So this is the second floor of the post office. It's separate from the main house. Obviously it's quite rustic, but it has potential to be finished into something of a livable space. Another really cool feature about this farmhouse is the staircase. It is wonderful. Some of these old homes have really steep, narrow staircases that are hard to maneuver and navigate, even sometimes questionable how safe they are. This staircase is wide, it's nice and bright, it's well lit, and it's wood with a really nice banister. So if you're into sliding down banisters, maybe that'll be your thing. Moving upstairs, we have this nice spacious landing, lots of light, and again, more of those fantastic mountain views through the windows. 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom up here, so let's take a look. The first bedroom is themed as Curious George. Check it out. In the Curious George room, we have this lovely bright yellow Curious George theme, which is a lot of fun. We also have some more of these built-in cabinets on the knee walls with the nice caped ceilings. Keeping true to the farmhouse style, they've retained more of these radiant heaters. Again, they're not functioning, but for heat up here and through most of the house, it's very zoned. So if you don't want to heat certain rooms in the winter, you don't necessarily have to. And so this is the heater for this room. It heats just this room, and then you'll see the others in the other bedrooms. Here we are in the second bedroom on the second floor. So this is actually bedroom number 3 that we've looked at. And this is known as the Morgan room because it is themed with the Morgan horse. We have more of these caped ceilings and another small built-in cabinet, more for just an access point over on the other side where the bed is. In the final bedroom on the second floor, themed as the tortoise and the mare. And it's nice and bright in here. Lots of windows on both sides. Again, more of these fantastic mountain views behind me. And the other great thing about this room is very large. It has 2 good-sized closets in it, as well as attic access. The second floor bathroom also has a bit of that retro feel, even though it has been updated. So just your basic full-size tub, toilet, and sink. Individual heating zone again, so you can keep this heated separately from the other rooms during the winter months. We are moving through the property here at 45 Barrett Road. I wanted to take you to take a look at the upper barn here. Inside there's 8 stalls and a chicken coop, a milk room, a tack room, and tons of storage space. Before we go inside though and take a look at that, I just wanted to point out that this is the well. One other thing, or 2 other things I should say to mention about this upper barn that are just fantastic features is you have power. With great lights and everything running. And you also have water here. This is also from the well that I pointed out to you before we come inside. So it makes your chores a lot easier. Moving through the upper barn, I wanted to show you the chicken coop. It's pretty good size. I imagine you could get a good amount of hens in here. And just on the other side of the chicken coop, there's actually a nice rooster pen as well. So we are in the back of the upper barn. These are 4 stalls back here. They're quite spacious and there's a lot of flex space because there's lots of gates and panels and things that kind of open and close. So you could create larger pens or smaller pens depending on what you're using the space for. Behind me here is the lower barn for the property. We're not going to go inside there. The buildings, as you can see, are in need of repair. You'll probably want to bring your imagination and a few tools to decide how you want to handle these buildings down here. On the back side of the upper barn is a nice little farm pond. The sellers used to swim in it, and they had a dog that used to swim in it as well. They haven't used it that way in a number of years, but I'm sure it could be cleaned up and put a little dock in there and have a nice little spot. It's also great if you want to have ducks or any kind of birds on your property. So the final structure on the building that I want to make sure that I show you today is this pavilion. It is fully wired with electricity. It is on a separate meter. This is technically a pole barn, so if someone wanted to finish it off and enclose it so that they could use it to house more animals, that's definitely potential. It's also another great space for entertaining. If you have a lot of guests or you have a big event that you want to have, this is a great place to set up for that purpose. And of course, you have more of the amazing mountain views back here. So let's do a real quick recap of what's going on here with this property. We have this lovely old farmhouse, the upper barn with 8 stalls and a chicken coop, the lower barn, and this fantastic pavilion. 6 acres of land, a brand new reduced list price of $498,000. And the taxes are estimated at about $5,000 to $6,000 a year, but that will be determined on final survey. Call today and I'll set you up with your own private showing, 207-578-4273. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you see all of our properties as soon as they come on the market.